So I spotted this yesterday. Here we go. Let's try and make gaming political again. GLAAD. We know what GLAAD is. Let me zoom in for you guys here so you can read it along with me. GLAAD is the alphabet mafia. They are the ones that are trying to pull. They're the ones to pull all the strings. Not trying. They are the ones that pull all the strings at Disney. They're one of the many secret masters that control Disney, that control a lot of corporations that own the stuff we love. GLAAD releases first ever report on alphabet mafia inclusion. And I don't say community, I'm saying mafia because this is about mafia. Because there's been proper, acceptable, organic representation in gaming for decades. One of my favorite series, Mass Effect. You can do whatever you want sexually in those games. You can be whoever you want. There's no cap. There's caps you can be involved with, but it doesn't stop you from engaging in those activities in the games. If you want to start off FemShep and smack clams with Liara in game 1, you can do that. If you want to carry it over to game 2, you can do that. If you want to get it on with every other chick that's available in that, you can do that. You can do it in Mass Effect 3 too. And in Andromeda, they really want you to do that in Andromeda. So there's been no limitations ever. But these people, I said these people, they would have you believe that it's never been there, and they must push it forward that there has to be representation, because without that, they can't play the victim card. So let's read this a little bit. 17% of gamers are alphabet mafia, up 10% from 2020. You know why? Because you assholes craft your questionnaire in a very improper survey, I would add, from what we can glean from this. I took survey courses for my for my worthless pieces of paper degrees. There's a way to do a survey, and all surveys are manipulative. And this is definitely manipulative because everybody can answer what they are now in one of these things and not even actually be someone who is interested in the opposite sex. The same sex. They can say whatever they want, and they'll count it and say, oh, look, it's up 10%. Yay, representation. Nonprofit Alphabet Mafia group GLAAD has released its first ever report on alphabet mafia inclusion in video games, revealing that 70% of gamers are alphabet mafia. And they are just as, if not more, dedicated to playing, spending, and talking about video games than non-alphabet mafia gamers. That is horseshit. You know why? Because there is no separation. You're a gamer or you're not. Gamers do not break it down of whose dick you suck or whose clam you slam. We don't think about that. You either like the game or you don't. You're either into this franchise, into this genre, or you're not. We don't care who you fuck. But that's all these people care about, because as we talked about already tonight, that's the only way they can define their lives. The report is the first of its kind from GLAAD and was done in partnership with Nielsen Games. The data was collected from a survey of 1,452 active PC and console gamers in the United States between July and August of 2023, with a boosted sample of Alphabet Mafia gamers to help answer questions about the relation between Alphabet Mafia and games. You just revealed you tainted your own survey. You just revealed that. First of all, you need over 1,500 people. Your sample size must be 1,500 or between 1,500 and 2,000 to get an accurate rating. And also, you notice here, as we're going to go on, they don't mention their margin of error, which means it's not an actual scientific survey. Because if you're going to talk about a survey being usable science for a debate or a paper or a presentation, when you put your number and you talk about stuff, you got to have your margin of error. And that margin of error needs to be between 3 to 5% to be legitimate. If your margin of error is greater than 5%, you've got a problem. Your survey is not accurately taking the snapshot in time that it's supposed to. And that's and I say they boosted the sample. You tainted the sample. A true sample is a blind sample where you give them the information. You the only thing you should do is make sure you have an even amount of men and women. That's what you do. And then you write down and you take their information. You don't coach them. You don't get by boosting it, by actively seeking out people to tilt the terms of the survey. You have spoiled your results. By saying they boosted it, this thing is already illegitimate because it is not real. It's not real. And you have them not randomly, but secretly notch everything down blindly. You don't, no names, no nothing. And you find out what their sexuality is. That's a true sample. And that would give you your actual number of Alphabet community players who will be ready to give you that information. But no, we boosted the sample, which means you tainted it. So there's 17% of active Alphabet Mafia gamers being up is bullshit. It's even higher among younger age groups because you assholes are grooming. Because you're grooming these poor children and breaking their minds. Once again, tainted. Younger age groups. Alphabet Mafia gamers overall report similar levels of dedication to games as non. I already said it. I'm just going to start yelling again. Spend similar amounts of money. They're repeating themselves here. Because gamers who are gamers are going to spend the time on the game no matter what, whether or not they sucker dick or slam a clam. It's the same. It doesn't matter. A gamer is a gamer. This shows you how desperate they are to push a narrative. However, the survey also found that the Switch eShop has the lowest percentage of games. Oh, here we go. So this is what they want to get to. First, they want to inflate the numbers that aren't really there. And then they want to tell you that it's not representative enough. It's not gay enough. The Switch eShop has the lowest percentage of games with Alphabet Mafia characters or storylines. Microsoft had 146 games available on the Xbox Store with Alphabet Mafia content at the time of the survey. PlayStation 90, Nintendo 50, Steam 2,302 games in English. But the number dropped to 1,506 when adult-only sexual content tag was filtered out. Oh, you don't say. You don't say the porn games that are probably there to attract people who are actually into that, but also possibly groom children, get removed when you actually point out what they're there for. People who are playing certain games that have romance angles, yeah, they want a romance. And all the time, these romances are there. It's been that way for 20 years now, almost. Just look at last year's Baldur's Gate 3. Man, that thing was the horniest game ever. It had everything under the sun. But it's not enough. It's not enough that the game of the year was the horniest game ever, allowing you to do all kinds of things with whoever you wanted to, even bears. And it's not enough. They need to count what games that are for sale or for rent through a Game Pass. They have to count and make you know that, oh, only these games are available that have Alphabet Mafia tendencies. Doesn't matter. Because people aren't playing games to fuck. People are playing games to enjoy a story with characters. And if the characters happen to be gay, then it's fine. You've heard me and others like Samuel talk about Dragon Age. Dragon Age as a series is full of gay and bisexual characters. And some of them, like Zevran, they're some of the greatest characters of all time. They're fantastic. And I love those guys. It doesn't matter that they're gay. But for these people, it's gay or nothing. Gay or nothing. In all four cases, this represented less than 2% of total available game libraries. Because people don't play games to have sex unless it's a porn game, and then that's a whole different thing, which is a shame because the survey also found that Alphabet Mafia representation, again, Alphabet Mafia, not actual gay communities. Alphabet Mafia, because that's only who they care about. In games has an outsized positive impact on Alphabet Mafia gamers and with little negative impact on non-Alphabet Mafia gamers because we don't. There's no negative impact because we don't care. How many times do I have to say this? Because we don't care. Gamers do not care. Only fake gamers, like people at IGN and the people running this survey, care. Survey found that 70% of Alphabet Mafia gamers say that seeing characters with their gender identity and or sexual orientation represented well makes them feel better about themselves. The only time an actual gamer feels better about themselves playing a game is when they kick its ass and they're having fun playing the game. That's what gamers. This is proving IGN, GLAAD, these are not about gamers. The people they boosted, we go back to that. The people they boosted with the survey, they're not real gamers. They don't care about the game. They just care about, newsflash, being seen on the screen. How many times have we talked about this over the years? Real fans don't need to be seen on a screen. They can relate to anything, whether it's a movie, a TV show, or a game. Disingenuous arguments here. Percent have jumped to 78% for these fake gamers between 13 and 17 years old. Oh, you mean the population that you're actively grooming? You mean that group who have been brainwashed to say this shit? Nothing but propaganda. This is propaganda. This entire thing is propaganda, which is why I'm covering it tonight. People need to see this is propaganda. This is false narratives, fake news, manufactured numbers. These numbers, these percentages they're throwing out are meaningless because they said they boosted the survey. They artificially inflated it. They broke the they broke the rules by knowing who is what and steering them and guiding them. I mean, listen, surveys you can lead people with a questionnaire. That's what all surveys do. Surveys are created to get you results that you want. Very rarely are they truly something that's going to give you an actual legitimate snapshot. They're done to manipulate so you can use it to your benefit. But this is blatant propaganda. And they're not even hiding it because they're not good at hiding it because they're stupid. They're retards. That percentage jumped 78% of fake gamers between 30 and 17 years old. Fake gamers were 11% more likely than real gamers to use gaming to escape from difficult situations in the real world, and 24% more likely to depend on gaming to get through tough times. Newsflash: we play games to relax, to escape the world. We don't play these games to be modernized, to have your modernized crap thrown on our face. We're not here to be real worlded. I mean, that's why this is out here right now. This is out here right now in this moment because of the pushback that the Alphabet Mafia and all their grooming advocates, all their grooming allies are pushing with the whole current day. They're gonna try and current day you. They're gonna try and modern day you in games. We've pushed back and we've won on all that shit. We got them. We got them by the short and curlies. And they're afraid. So they're going to put out something like this and try and push some propaganda out. Look, gay people are gamers too. Of course they are. They've been gamers for 50 years. Since the 70s. With Atari and Pong. In arcades. Gamers know no difference between one another. The only difference between gamers is, are you good or do you suck? And can I give you shit over sucking? Am I going to roast your ass? Am I going to troll you? Am I going to talk shit? That's the only difference that gamers look at. Are you good or do you suck? We don't care who you fuck. And we're going to use gaming to escape the bullshit you throw at us all day long. And now we're angry because you're inserting it into what we love, into our escapism. Meanwhile, over 60% of real gamers say having fake gamer main character doesn't make a difference in a season. How about 100%? How about I'll say 90% is more likely. We don't care. If the character is good, if the story is engaging, we don't care. Doesn't matter. The imagined core audience, however, is a myth. And it's one of the reasons it was paramount for the Alphabet Mafia to create this game report. What do you mean core audience is a myth? Without the gaming audience, they don't make any money. I mean, listen, here's the thing. As crappy as I found it to be at the end of the day, they reported today that Spider-Man 2 has sold 10 million copies at $70 a pop with just the physical copies like I bought. That's $700 million that Insomniac and Sony made. $700 million. Now, they had a production cost of $350 million. But there's no break even. Like maybe there is a break even because what they have to sell to the stores. I'd have to research that. But you understand what I'm saying? With just the physical copies of Spider-Man 2 alone, $700 million. I think that's just physical copies. I don't know if that's including digital, but they made money. And that game was crap. It was agenda-driven crap. And the core audience still bought it. Without the core audience that bought that game, Sony and Insomniac don't make $700 million. So to say that the imagined core audience is a myth, that's bullshit. That is bullshit, and that's as we're saying here, that's fake gamer propaganda. Fake gamer propaganda. Fake gamer games, Alphabet Mafia games, are a significant part of the existing active gamer market, and by large, real gamers are not nearly as resistant to this content as many assume, because if it's a good game, we don't care. But those games they don't sell. I guarantee they aren't selling because people aren't interested in them if it's only about your goddamn Alphabet Mafia not-so-secret agenda. Gaming represents a vast lucrative market. By some measures, the global revenue from video games exceeds. By some measures, that's bullshit. It does exceed. Gaming is the biggest industry in the world. In a press release, GLAAD recommends number of actions. Oh, okay. Here come the terms. Here come the terms. Here comes the bend the knee, or we're going to attack you. Increase the percentage of games with Alphabet Mafia representation to match percentage of gamers who are that. You mean your inflated number of 70%? Show me the real number and then let's have that conversation, not your fake number. Striving for representation that promotes inclusivity and acceptance. I'm trying not to use gamer words here. I'm trying not to use gamer words. I want to hurl them. And I have to pause and stop myself. These assholes, these pieces of shit, talk about representation, promotes inclusive acceptance. Gaming has always done that. Gaming does not and has never discriminated, except in one way. You're good or you suck. That's the only discrimination in games. Get good. Dodge better. There is no lack of inclusivity. Anybody can pick up a game. Anybody can pick up a game and play it. All you need is money. Bullshit. Anybody can play a game. Just a question if you're good or not. And most of these people, these fake gamers, probably suck, which is why they're pissing and moaning. Taking responsibility for making gaming communities more cool. People are allowed to play and interact however they want in a game. The moment you try to monitor and force them to behave a certain way is the moment you steal their freedom to play a game the way they want to. This is not about making things inclusive, making things diverse, making it open. This is about control. These statements here from GLAAD, the Alphabet Mafia, this is about control. That's what this is. Plain and simple. Control, control. They want control. Consulting Alphabet Mafia media and content experts. Oh, you mean like Sweet Baby Inc? Grifters, scam artists who tell you you're missing a thing and then tell you that we're the ones that can help you get it. Grifting. This is criminal right here. This is strong arming. This is why we call them the Alphabet Mafia. This is basically a protection racket. They're setting up a digital protection racket. Oh, you need to pay us so we don't cancel you for not including us or including what we say is us. Hire. And now you have to hire them in positions of authority. Hire them in positions of authority. Yes, hire them so that they can fire everybody and anybody who doesn't bend the knee. Can you get more blatant with your agenda? Right here. God damn these people. Go to hell, each and every one of you. Real gamers, you try this. Try this with real gamers. We are a salty, testy bunch. We do not like to bend the knee. We do not like to conform. Gamers will push back against shit like this. And you know what they'll do? They won't buy the game. They won't support any company who behaves like this. Why do you think a lot of us are turning away from Insomniac going forward, turning away from CD Projekt Red, turning away from all these companies who are getting involved with this shit? And there are ones who have been involved but are jettisoning it. Some people want to say, "Hey, Square Enix, you were involved with Sweet Baby Inc." No, Square Enix America. Their companies that they had here in the West were involved with Sweet Baby Inc. The mothership is not. And what has Square Enix done in the recent past now? They've jettisoned, they cut off the atrophied, cancerous, poisoned limb that produced the likes of Forspoken. They got rid of it. And they're getting rid of ESG money. They're getting rid of all that kind of investment. Sweet Baby Inc. doesn't have a foothold in Japan. Their foothold is here in America. It's the American companies, Rocksteady, Insomniac. They're the ones who are getting involved with Sweet Baby Inc. The Japanese ones, they don't want to do it because they see they're losing money. This is what it's about right here. This whole article, we get to the nuts and bolts, the core of it right here. It's about control. They don't want you to have freedom. They want you to bend the knee to their ideological bullshit. Fight back. Do not listen. Never bend the knee. Be the gamer that I know all of you are. Resist this bullshit because they can't win. They cannot win because it's very easy how we win this, how we beat them. We don't support companies that support the likes of the Alphabet Mafia, GLAAD, and Sweet Baby Inc. I'm done with this.
Thanks for watching, everybody. If you'd like to reach out to me, please email me at theranernerd@gmail.com for all channel business purposes. I am on Twitter now, mostly for promotion and sharing of videos, maybe a little shit stirring here and there, who knows, at @theranernerd. You can also find me at the Geeks and Gamers forums under @ROAS, and you can see me on Rumble and Odyssey under the Renaissance Nerd. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.